Some 200 years ago, a war broke out between two kingdoms in Japan. The smaller kingdom was scared. It was certain to lose, for it had fewer soldiers. It was not a less, but very less. The ratio of soldiers between the enemy and this kingdom was 10:1. Against the enemy's 10 soldiers, this kingdom had just one. The commanders of the kingdom refused to go to war. They said that this would be stupidity and we should not send our men to be slaughtered in vain. Death is certain. The generals were adamant that the defeat was certain and they did not want to go to war and stain faces with the soot of defeat. They did not also want the soldiers to be killed in vain. They thought that it was better to lose than to die. Even after losing lives, they would lose the battle with no possibility of winning. The emperor had no solution to it. It was a fact that they were much shorter in number and the figures were correct. As a last resort, the emperor requested a hermit in a village to lead the army to war as a commander. His generals could not understand this. When the generals refused to challenge the enemy at war, then a fakir with no experience of war, one who has never fought a war, one who has no skill, one who has never talked about a war, what is the purpose of promoting this totally impractical man? But the fakir agreed. When many practical people do not agree, the most impractical people do. When the wise people step back, those who have no experience stand in the front. The fakir agreed. The emperor performed his duty by assigning the men to war. The soldiers were very nervous being led by an inexperienced fakir, but the fakir was so full of enthusiasm that the soldiers accompanied him. The commander also came along with the soldiers to see what happens. A little distance before the enemy camp, the fakir stopped the soldiers at a temple. Before we leave, let us seek God's blessings and ask Him what His wish is. If we are getting defeated, we go back. And if He blesses for a win, then we fight with all our might. The soldiers stood outside the temple with great hope. The man folded his hands, closed his eyes, and prayed to God. Then took out a coin from his pocket and said to God, I am throwing up this coin. If the head comes above, we will understand that we will win and we will move ahead. And if it falls the other way, we will accept that we will lose and will return. We will tell the king, don't make us die in vain. Our defeat is certain. This is also God's will. The soldiers watched carefully as he threw the coin. It shone in the bright sunlight with the head above. He told the soldiers not to worry and stop thinking that we will lose. Now no one can defeat us. God is with us. The soldiers went ahead and fought valiantly. In 7 days, they defeated the enemy. They returned victorious. On way back, they stopped at the temple to thank God for being with them. All the soldiers stopped, folded their hands, bowed and prayed to God. Thank God, if you had not given us the signal to win, we would have lost. We have won because of your grace and signal. The fakir said, before you thank God, take a close look at the coin. He took out the coin and said, the coin was similar on both sides. It had nothing different on the reverse. He said, don't thank God. You are filled with hope of victory. That's why you won. You could have lost because you had lost hope. You know that you were bound to lose. The success of all tasks in life depends on whether we are filled with hope for their victory or are afraid of the thought of defeat. And people filled with great hope are able to do so much with little strength, as much as people filled with despair cannot do anything despite having the ability.